Welcome, you guys. Welcome to our first episode. Can't have talk. First episode of Kicking It with Knowledge. The host Mia, mommy of three, featuring double troubles here.
Encouraging words.
Ok- Okay,
Encouraging
I'm thinking
words.
about his gaming channel, you guys. Encouraging words. I'm sorry. So today, you guys, I woke up this morning. Normally, I would have been doing my 30-minute workout before work, but I wasn't feeling good since Friday. So I just wanted to say thank you to my husband for filling in for me for Friday and Saturday. Was it Friday and Saturday?
No, Sunday.
Okay, Sunday. Okay, so I did it Friday. I just went down Friday evening, but he filled in for me for Sunday, you guys. So I said, let me come back and just do like a sit down video. And this morning when I woke up, I said, well, what should I do? Because I wasn't feeling too good to do the exercise. So I said, let me just do a sit down video and and I said to myself, what should I talk about? So the first thing that came to my mind this morning was mental health, depression, how you're coping during the pandemic, the stresses that we are dealing on a day to day basis. Depression, are you suffering from it? Have you suffered from it? Are you coming out of the depression? So, stress and depression and mental health, it all goes hand in hand, you guys. So, that was the first topic that came to my mind this morning. So, I told my husband, I said, we should just do a sit down video and discuss about that, you guys. So I'm gonna just be doing some brief talking, but there is a video that I have already got set up, and it's talking about mental health in the black community. I know in the black community, in the black families, for so many generations, a lot of us have not coped and dealt with mental health stress. The things that our ancestors went through, and when they had children, and their children, and their children had children. So, a lot of us don't really talk about, depression. We don't talk about mental health. We don't go out and seek help and talk to others regarding the things that we could be going through mentally. If we stressed out or we're depressed, we always been told to keep it on the hush. You'll be all right. Pray about it. That's good and fine to pray about it, but sometimes it's good to go and talk to somebody, maybe a stranger or someone that you're not familiar with, so you can be able to give them the raw deal of how you're feeling, so you won't be, some people say, well, being judged about it, or they're going to be able to get out how they're feeling. So this video is exactly what I am talking about. And I have battled depression a couple of times. I went through stress. I had, a mental breakdown while I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. I had depression throughout that entire pregnancy. I've been suffering from depression a couple of times. A lot of people may not have known that. Sometimes we so used to keeping those issues inside of what we're going through, childhood traumas, things that I went through, childhood, a lot of things that I've seen during my childhood, a lot of things that my family has experienced, it weighed in heavily on me. But, sometimes you just keep it in, you keep it balled inside, and you just go on about your life. And then not knowing as you get older, that stuff can tear you apart as you get older when you think about it. Sometimes it may not hit you right then and there. It may hit you later on in life. And then you're sitting there wondering, like, what's going on? Why is this happening to me? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I having these thoughts? Why am I sitting here just crying and crying and don't know why I am crying? Why I just want to be alone? Why I don't want to be bothered? So you do get hit with those questions as to why. And it's just not just females that go through those issues as well. Men go through those issues as well. Do you know any males, or have you experienced that before?
Yes, I have experienced males that that went through depression, and a lot of times that depression is very serious because it leads to other things like suicide. And
Right.
I've heard guys, what I'm saying, they were so depressed maybe because they lost a child or they can't see their child, and they're in a state of depression that, you know what I'm saying, they want to end it all and, you know, and take their life. And like MzMia81 said, you know, it is true in the black community, we don't get help, and that's why the communities are the way they are, because really, actually, you know, we're suffering from slavery and Stockholm syndrome, and basically we haven't got help for it. We haven't, you know, gotten any what do you call it? Going and see a
psychological help.
Psychological help.
Like going to go see a therapist.
The therapist and things of that nature, you know. But in the black community, that's like a no-no. That's like, oh, that's not for us. Oh, we don't do that. But you know, that's why, you know, that's why we're running around here half bugged out our mind.
Right.
And, you know, sitting around, you know, with all this stuff on your chest, and you see it and you're taking it out on everybody. You can basically, you can see it in our community.
Right.
You know, I mean, you got to keep it real and 100, you know. But, yeah, that's very serious. And if, I know some people that I see it, but it's hard trying to tell someone that they need to go get some help when they're seeing it, because to them, they think that they're perfectly normal to them, to themselves. So, yeah, I've had, you know, you see, I mean, basically you see it every day.
Right.
Just walking the neighborhood, you see it every day.
Right.
So.
That is true. You know, I have seen loved ones that suffered from depression, mental issues, you know, mental breakdowns. You know, they try to remain strong, trying to keep their head up, trying to keep it together, and not knowing behind closed door, they all broken up and broke down. You know, they suffer in silence. So a lot of us in the black community, a lot of us suffer in silence. We suffer depression. We suffer mental health in silence. Sometimes we think that we are too good to go seek help.
You know, when you try to tell people that they're going through something, it's just like people take it as, you know, like you're being mean, or you're telling them something wrong, or, you know, you don't want to hear it. It's just like telling somebody that, you know, like selling drugs is bad, and you shouldn't do it, and they look at you like, oh, what you talking about?
Right.
And that's how bad it is, you know, like how, you know, sick our people are to the point to what they think selling drugs is normal. You're supposed to do it, and killing each other is normal, like you're supposed to do it, you know.
Right. That's not normal at all. It's not normal for us to really think like that now that you have gotten older, but a lot of us in our community really do think that. If you tell someone that they need to go get help, you know, are you depressed, they, in their mind, they you think they crazy. Like they slow, like they crazy, like something really is wrong with them. To tell you the truth, something really is wrong with them. They just don't want to accept it. They think suffering in silence and keeping it to themselves is the right way to go, but it's not the right way to go. Because eventually, if you don't get the help and you don't seek the help, you're going to end up doing bodily harm and physically hurting yourself, or you may be physically hurting someone else later on throughout life. You know, sometimes we can pass on our depression to our kids, not even knowing. We in the house thinking that we going about our day-to-day life, you know, cooking, cleaning, providing for our family, and you know, our children know. Children know if your parents is something wrong with their parents.
Because I want to say this, because this is the norm too. That I was talking to someone who was in Ohio and stuff, and they said something to me, and it just came to me since we're on this. It's like it's running rampant with the children.
Right.
And especially with the black kids, because normally, what I'm saying, that wasn't no suicide, that wasn't no norm in the black community. But now you see that with children, because I was having a discussion with someone I know, and they was telling me a little story and stuff like that, and we was talking about that. It was like, dang, it's like it's a norm, which it wasn't, like, suicide, like black kids trying to commit suicide. So that right there, what we're saying, you guys, is facts.
Right.
It's true, because you see it, a lot of black teenagers stuff wanting to commit suicide.
Right.
Because they're depressed.
They are depressed. And the thing about it is, right now in our community, I want to say for the past couple of years, a lot of adults, young children, teenagers, some even in elementary school, have committed suicide. That was like the worst thing to do in the black community. We was not known for, committing suicide. But now it's at an all-time high. But I want to say about a couple of weeks ago, I came across this article. This little boy that was in elementary school, he got bullied so bad. His mom, his parents, they done came out to the house. They done spoke with the superintendent, the school board. They talked with the teachers, and came to find out the teachers was fully aware of what was going on. Some of them was in on the situation. When he got bullied in class, he got bullied at the cafeteria, especially on the playground. He got pushed and shoved and all that. So he ended up going home and committing suicide. He used to come home with bruises and all kind of stuff. His stuff tore up. And it's crazy. Elementary school. Just imagine, like, if that was one of your children that was suffering like that. It made me mad. It made me mad because I have children that's in elementary school. They both going to middle school, but they still young. All of my children are still young. And it made me mad to see a black young boy who was a young king to commit suicide because he felt like nothing is being done on his behalf.
Me and MzMia81, I want to say, like, when we were coming up, we handled stuff different. We was tough. We was strong enough to like handle it. Sorry guys,
my throat dry.
We were strong enough to handle it, but like now, what I'm saying, the kids like this age, they don't, what I'm saying, they don't, I mean, they can't handle it.
Right. Because growing up, when we was growing up, when somebody was talking junk about you or talking junk about your family, you fought. You may made up later on. Sometimes you may not talk to that person at all, but we fought. There was kids that got bullied back then. Of course, there was children that got bullied. But some of them handled it in a different way. Some of them didn't.
But all in all, you guys, I mean, what she's saying, that mental health situation is very serious, because mental health doesn't necessarily mean it's got to be what people think. Oh, you're bugged out of your mind. Your mental. You can be taking drugs. You know what I'm saying? It could be something wrong.
Right.
With your mental health. So it just not necessarily mean, oh, there's something going on with them upstairs. So it could go a bunch of different ways when you're talking about mental health.
Right. Because there's a lot a lot plays in regarding mental health. You got to go back to, like, you really have to sit that person down, let them talk about, the things that's been bottled up inside and that's been bothering them. And if you do, a lot of it does stem from childhood. Some may have stemmed from accidents that may have happened. Mm-hmm. Something that dramatically have changed their life. Drastically, can't even talk. That may have changed their life. They could have been, like, prescribed some type of pain pill, and they have gotten addicted to it. And those pills that they may have got addicted to it could have altered, their brain. It could shift their brain a little bit. I know there are drugs that does that. Especially when you go to the dentist, they prescribe you like hydrocodone.
I would say it clouds their thinking.
Right.
Because when you're on drugs, it clouds your thinking. You don't, you're not thinking straight when you're on narcotics.
Right.
and everything, because it's just like with marijuana. A lot of people say marijuana is good for you. Actually, it's not, because I used to smoke marijuana, and I used to smoke it so much to where I used to forget. I could sit here and talk to you and tell you something, and then 2 minutes, a minute later, I forget. Like, dang, what did I just tell her? And things of that nature. And it's been a good while. Like, I'm talking about years since I stopped, but I stopped, and when I stop, I can think clearly.
Right.
And stuff like that. But yeah, you guys, that mental health, you guys, it's very serious. And if you're going through something, and I suggest that you go talk to a therapist, and not sit up and act like that there's nothing wrong, because most of the time a lot of people do know something is wrong. They don't know what it is. They try to ignore it, or they try to tell themselves that there's nothing wrong, or they just be in disbelief.
Right.
So,
and it's not nothing being, when you see that someone's going through that, just talk to them. Don't just say, oh, you'll get over it, because that particular time and day could be the day that may save them their lives. Could be the day to where they may prevent them from hurting themselves or hurting someone else. You see what I'm saying? It's not easy, it's not good just to see that someone that you came across, that you could have talked to them, and you seen in your gut that you knew something was off, but you didn't say nothing, and then later on you hear it on the news later on the night, or a couple of days later, it's either they gone or they hurt someone. And then if you come across that and you have experienced that, you're gonna be like, man, I should have did more, I should have said something, why didn't I say something? It only takes just a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes out of your day. If you see that someone is going through that, check on them. Like a person that you haven't checked on in a while, but like, hey, how you doing? I haven't heard from you. Just checking on you, see how you doing. Hope everything okay. It doesn't take but a couple of seconds to do that. But we just wanted to have like a brief introduction and a discussion before we start this video. Okay, so I came across this video. It's with the black lady now, Shantae Meadows. Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to say this too, guys, for all the viewers who are watching, and there may be some people that come in later on and watch this video. We want you guys to come in and interact with us. Come in and come in the comment sections, ask us questions. Join in the conversation. We love that. We love to talk. We love to talk with other people.
Right.
So we just want you guys just come on in the chat. Don't be afraid. Don't be bashful. Come on in.
Come on in the chat. If you like to support the chat, like I stated, when you click on where the comment section is at, you can actually click on like the little dollar sign, and you can also send like super stickers or super chats, any amount that you would like to send. That would greatly appreciate it. That's showing that you're supporting the channel and you want to continue to support the channel. The super stickers, it has exactly the amount right there. Also, by supporting the channel is, I do have my information in the description box down below. It will have all of the information that if you want to support this channel and to see that this channel continue to grow as well. Also, another support is you can join the membership. I do have membership on my channel. When you first go there, there's a link on there that says click join. There's different levels that you would like to. I will have certain videos that I will make, and it'll be only just for my members. If there are certain topics that you would like for us to discuss, certain videos that you would like for us to react to, or if you would like to join our live and come in and have a talk with us, just reach out to us by email. My email address is in the About Me section or in the description box once I put that information up. And if you would like to join our live, just let us know. Hit us up. And also leave a comment or two as well. So there are ways that you can continue to support this channel. We just want to thank you all for that support, okay? All right, so let's get into this video. Okay, so as I was stating, this video is a black lady named Shantae Meadows, okay? She was actually going over and discussing the issues and the things that we deal in the black community regarding black mental health, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. So there may be times that we may be stopping and starting the video, okay? So just bear with us.
Responding to the video.
What goes on in this house stays in this house. I don't talk about my feelings to other people. Girl, that's for white folks. Black folks, we got this. I'ma just go to Jesus and pray about it. I'm not weak. I'm not crazy. These are some of the common things I hear when I tell people what I do for a living. See, I'm a mental health therapist. Oh God, y'all, I said that word, mental health. You know, we don't talk about mental health in the black community. And that keeps a lot of people suffering in silence. So yes, as a mental health therapist, I listen to people talk all day. So first, let's explain what does mental health mean. Truthfully, it's the overall well-being of your mind. The issue we really have is about this word called mental illness. See, mental illness is just something that affects the way you act, the way you think, or you behave. And we all know there's times we act differently, we behave differently, and we feel differently.
That's true.
That's what mental health is. So as a mental health therapist, y'all, I sit and I talk about mental health disorders. Those are words like anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar. Those are examples of mental health disorders. So, as a therapist, I get great joy of helping people heal.
Go ahead and set up.
That's another thing that we suffer from, PTSD. PTSD, you guys. You know, what she's saying and what she's saying goes a lot along with what we was just saying before the video started. You know, it's just like when you say that in the black community, they look at you. You get looked at like you said something, like you said a cuss word or something. You know, when you said physical therapist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said physical therapist. I'm sorry. When you said a psychiatrist, guys, I said a physical therapist.
What?
But yeah, so yep, we'll just listen to more and see what she has to say, guys.
I often get asked, why did you become a mental health therapist? I wish I had this really great, heartfelt story, but honestly, I've always just wanted to change the world or make an impact. And somehow, through my journey, I've gotten called to this world of mental health. It has been an incredibly eye-opening world. See, I get to help people heal. And I believe if I can heal one person, I can heal a family, and then I can heal from that family, I can help heal a community, and then I believe I'm changing the world with each and every person that I sit across from and we talk about what is hurting them. See, my goal as a mental health therapist is to create a culturally competent and culturally safe space to help people heal and grow and be the best person that they could be, live their best lives. See, because right now in this world, hurt people hurt people.
Speak it, sis.
And we are not healing our families. And because we're not healing families,
what she said is facts.
Right.
That hurt people, mm-hmm. And you see that in our community. That goes back what I was saying earlier about
right.
the black on black crime. You see, so she's right. Hurt people, right? And you see that, you know, the killing that goes on, and you know all the fighting. You see it on World Star, on YouTube. You know, where you got somebody, you know, recording the fighting videos. You know, when you see all of those stuff, those are just people crying out for help and just acting out. Really? You know, because they're hurting deep inside. That's all that be.
Right.
So, you want to add anything to it?
She hit the nail on the coffin, you guys, because that's exactly what it is. Sometimes, you know, your loved ones, family members, or your friends, co-workers, it could be anybody who could have, you came across and they hurt your feelings. Sometimes you may go back and hurt their feelings. It goes deeper than that as well. So she did say that correct. She stated that correctly. Hurt people hurt people. And the cycle continues. It's like a repeat cycle over and over again. Right. Sometimes we can, we may not know it. Those cycles that we had when we was younger, became adults and had children, those cycles can, you know, fall on your children that you may have as well. And your grandchildren. And then you sitting there wondering, like, what's wrong with them? Why they the way that they are? Because the cycle is repeating itself. No one in that family decided to
break the cycle
right.
And get some help.
Someone, like my husband said, someone has to break that cycle to get some help. Someone has to say, okay, this is not right. You know, I don't want our family to continue to go down this negative route. You know, we all looking hurt, looking all, you know, like we done lost our best friends. So, I like that statement that she said.
Hurt people, hurt
One
people.
person parents from a place of hurt. They parent from a place of alcoholism. And then they pass that on to their children, and their children, and their children. And therefore, we keep living in a world of hurt. And so my goal is truly to help change the world one person at a time by talking about that bad word, y'all, of mental health. So, what exactly does this look like, being a mental health therapist? Well, see, I have this thing called confidentiality, so I can't exactly tell y'all all the business. But let's make someone up together. How about that? Let's call her Stacy, okay? So, Stacy, you work with her. You all get together occasionally for lunch, happy hour, dinner, do things like that. Y'all talk, y'all met each other. So you know each other pretty well. You do the same job. So one day, Stacy says, hey, let's go to dinner. You're like, sure. So you're sitting at dinner. She's like, whew, girl, I am just so tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. I'm just so over everything right now. I feel like I'm really like losing my mind. And you're looking at her like, not much in our job has changed, so kind of curious what's going on. She's like, I'm just so stressed out. I'm so overwhelmed. See, right now, every time I try to lay down at night, I go to sleep, but it's like I can't shut my brain off. I've got 10 computer tabs open at all times, and I'm just clicking, and I can't figure out what to do. My heart's always beating. I wake up, and I got butterflies in my stomach for no reason. And you're looking at her like, okay. And she's like, and you know, I got this work trip coming up. She's like, yeah, you got a presentation out of town. I know, it's out of town. What if something happens to my family while I'm gone? What if, oh my God, what if they restructure the job? What if I come back to no job? What if I have no job? What if I fall and hit my head? What if I get sick? Oh my God, what am I gonna do? So clearly, you're looking at Stacy like, girl, you tripping. Some of y'all out there might even be thinking,
yeah, because I'm gonna be like, ooh, child, slow down with
the
all that talking.
reality is, it sounds like Stacy has undiagnosed and untreated anxiety. There's that word, anxiety. Anxiety is a mental health disorder. And actually, anxiety means feeling uneasy and nervous about something that you are not in control of. See, we all have anxiety. We all get nervous about things. But the reality is, sometimes anxiety can get to a place where it stops you sometimes from getting a good night's sleep. It can change your heartbeat. Sometimes your stomach hurts and you don't know why your stomach hurts. Your palms are sweaty. See, when it gets to that place, that's when you should come and see me. That's when you should go see a therapist. Because at that point, it sounds like it is really starting to affect your overall life. And so oftentimes, though, we don't recognize the signs and symptoms of a mental health disorder because why? What goes on in this house stays in this house. And we were never taught to talk about the things.
That is so true. Because I done heard my parents,
Yep.
my grandparents, family members.
What
goes on in this house stays in the house. Like, you can't tell nobody nothing. Don't tell nobody my business. Don't tell nobody what's going on in our house. You know, as I learned as I have gotten older, it's best to tell what's going on in your house. That's why a lot of kids end up coming up missing. A lot of kids end up being strung out and being left home. And a lot of things have happened to those children when they was younger for keeping stuff in this household. So it's mind-boggling. A lot of things you need to tell your kids, listen, this is what you need to, if somebody do this, you need to say so. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they threaten you or promise you this, promise you that. Don't believe it. You come and tell your parents. Come and tell me. Because that goes on, stays in my household. It could be the same thing that could be destroy your household. So, you know, I've been hearing that a lot. I done heard so many people that I went to school with, their families used to say them same thing. This ain't none of your business.
Don't tell nobody what goes on at my house. Mm-hmm. Don't tell nobody. I'm going to start this, you guys. I'm going to turn on the air because it's kind of hot in here.
Things that are affecting us daily. So if I'm uncomfortable mentally and emotionally, I was taught you just hold it on. Why? Because it stays in this house. But those are the things that keep people suffering in silence. Those are the things that are having people not sleep. Those are the things that keep those generational curses from going on and on.
Right.
Because we know
breaking generational curses.
House. And also, we don't know what it looks like because we never were taught to talk about it. So oftentimes, we miss those signs and those symptoms. So what do you do if someone does say, I have some emotional or mental distress? People are like, I don't know what to do with that.
Sorry,
it's not that difficult. Start with just being a listening ear. Just listen to what they say with no judgment. Listen, help them figure out, how do you find a therapist? We have this great thing called Google now. You can find just about any and everything on it. All you have to do is look them up. They want someone who is a male therapist. You can look that up. If you want a black therapist, you can look that up. But the biggest thing is just start with being a kind and listening ear. The other part is be knowledgeable. If someone is saying, I'm in emotional distress, just let them know that there is help for them and they do not have to suffer in silence. Right. The other thing is, let's say when you and Stacy are sitting there at dinner, and if she looked at you and was like, ooh, I have a pain in my chest, or if I have a lump, I hope you wouldn't look at her and say, girl, it's just a lump, you'll be all right. I hope you wouldn't say, just pray about it, it should go away. No, I really hope you would turn to her and say, go to a doctor.
A lot of people be so
like
quick,
that,
girl, just
if you
pray
have
about
pain
it.
in your chest, a lump in your
Honey,
chest,
sometimes people don't want to.
Well, guess what? If they're in mental health distress,
you're going to need, some people, they need more than just prayer. They need to go and talk to a therapist, and they need prayer too, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, because
some people need more than prayer. Some people need therapy. Some people need to sit down and really talk to a couple of people and let them know what's going on. And they need to continue to talk to people and let them know what's going on, their thoughts, their issues, things that have happened, so they can be able to get all of that out. You can have both. You can have prayer and you can have therapy out all at the same time. Prayer is therapy. But some people need more than prayer. Telling someone, oh, just pray about it. Because some people going to look at you like what? I know she did. I know he didn't. Some people tell you, I don't want to talk about no prayer. I need more than that.
You got to look. I mean, with what she's saying, where that stuff comes from your parents, you know, and stuff like that. Right. That's what that stuff is. Like she stated earlier, it's passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. You know, until somebody breaks that cycle. Right. Somebody has to break that cycle. Just like you can have where a bunch of let's just say women in that family are having children out of wedlock, and it gets passed to their daughters, and it gets passed to their daughters until somebody breaks that cycle.
I know a couple of people that was like that. The grandmother had the grandmother had her children at a very young age. Her child had her child at a very young age. They was all teenagers. Then the granddaughter had her child at a very young age. Then the great-granddaughter had her child at a very young age. I know a lot of people was like that. You don't see the grandmas in their 50s, 60s, 70, 80 years old now. Now you starting to see grandmas in their 30s. 30 years old being a grandma. Back then you ain't never heard of that. You didn't never heard of a grandma in her 30s, being a grandma. She's still young. She still got her life to live.
The cycle has to be broken.
She's old enough to be a mother, but to me, in your 30s, it don't seem right to be a grandmother in her 30s. I'm 40. I just turned 40 this year, and as I seen some of my family members having kids. Middle school, middle school, high school, and friends. I say I refuse to have a child while I'm in middle school, high school. Because I seen what they went through. I seen what family members and friends, what they went through. A lot of things that they suffered. A lot of things got put on hold. They really struggled. And I said, I wanted to break that cycle, and I did. I broke that cycle. So, I had my first child way after I got out of high school. Graduated and everything was working.
You were married.
Right. So.
You were married.
I was married when I had my first daughter. So. It was 3.5 years after we got married that I found out that I was pregnant. So, didn't even think I can get pregnant. So. Listen, I refuse to go down that route. I said I don't want to be talked about. I did not want to be shined upon. Didn't want to have to struggle. Wanted to live my life. But so, it is what it is. That's a whole different conversation. Let's go ahead and continue the video, you guys.
If they're in emotional distress, go to a doctor. Find a therapist. We have to do a better job at looking at our mental health as our physical health. When we are in physical pain, we go seek a doctor. Well, guess what? We are in emotional pain and we are in mental pain, and we need to go see a doctor. We have to acknowledge that mental health is physical health. It is a part of our overall body.
I like that.
We are
mental
mind, body, and soul. We are connected. And so when one part is off, all parts are off. So just like we know, how come most people's stomach hurts sometimes when they have anxiety? Because the mind and the body is connected. Mental health is physical health. And we have to do better at when we are in
they are both linked together.
Stress, go to the doctor. And acknowledge that, hey, guess what? The doctors can't really find anything going on with my stomach. My heart's racing, my hands are sweating, and the doctors are like, I'm good. They told me to go to a therapist. Then go to a therapist. Stop putting that off. Often, time and time again, we wait and we don't know. See, just like you would.
Now, if the doctor tell you to go to a therapist and you don't go to a therapist, I don't know.
The doctors know too.
Yeah.
When they go through medical school.
Yeah, they know.
A lot of them have been trained to know a little bit about mental health and psychology. They take those courses, they take those classes. So sometimes they got to know the difference. If you go to the doctor's office, dentist office, you go into the ER, they do ask you those questions. Like, have you been stressed out? Have you been depressed? If you notice, they ask you those questions. And they ask you that for a reason.
People don't people never really paid attention to wonder why they asked you those questions.
Right.
You never really paid attention to it, so.
Right. All right.
Go to the doctor if you broke your foot. Because after a while, you need your foot. It hurts to walk on it for too long, right? You need it. You need to walk. Even if you got to get crutches, it's a walking utensil. If you have to have a cast, you're going to walk. You're going to figure out one way or another. I've been having this foot for this long, and all of a sudden this foot is causing me distress. I'm going to go figure it out, right? Why wouldn't you figure it out if your mind is in distress, if your emotions in distress? Because guess what? You're going to come see a therapist, and just like you might get crutches, you might get a cast, well, guess what? I'm going to give you some tools and utensils to help you feel better. What I'm going to say is, hey, let's try some deep breathing. Why deep breathing? Because that can slow your heart rate down. Because sometimes when your heart is going so fast, you speak fast. Your breathing will change. If you're not breathing the correct way, you will pass out. That's what hyperventilation is. That's why I'm going to say do deep breathing. Why am I going to tell you to do some yoga or meditation? I'm going to tell you to do that because that teaches you how to be mindfully present in your body. That teaches you how to slow down. Oftentimes, anxiety makes us feel we're going a mile a minute. So just like if you went to physical therapy and got different techniques and walking things to help you walk better and to have your foot heal, guess what? A therapist is going to do the exact same thing. Our goal is to help you heal and to help you get back to being your best self and walking on both feet. So that is a key thing you have to remember is next time you feel like I got a pain somewhere, please also take a moment and be like, how am I feeling? That's that word, that feeling word. You know, in our community, we don't really talk about feelings. And we have to do a better job because it is connected, like I said, to mind, body, and spirit. Feelings do count. The other thing we really have to acknowledge is mental health stigma is what is stopping a lot of us from seeking treatment.
She telling me
you
the
know,
truth.
in the African American community, because of racism,
So she said basically a lot of mental health issues is what preventing us from getting the help that we need. And that is true. Because the last thing that we want to think about is ain't nothing wrong with me. Am I crazy? Am I tripping?
Something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Right. You don't want to think like maybe I need some help. You thinking like, okay, I know I'm tripping. I ain't tripping. Okay, I really ain't tripping. So, you know, it has caused a lot of us generations of not seeking the help. That's why a lot of us is out here passed away with depression and stress. A lot of us it's a silent killer.
Yeah, people don't know that stuff is a silent killer. It's a silent depression. Mm-hmm. All of that. Depression. Like depression, suicidal thoughts. You know, because that's something been held within here.
Right.
So it's a silent killer.
Right.
It's a silent
Especially
killer.
like if a loved one that passed away that you truly love, you know, they've been them passed away like 15, 10, 20, 30 something years ago, and you know, you're still grieving over that person. It's just like, you know, you can't tell no one when to stop grieving. But also at the same time, it's not helping you at all. Think about the good times that you may have shared with that person. The positive times.
You got to
the laughs, the talks. Yeah. You have to keep moving. You got to keep pushing yourself. Keep pushing on. Right. You got to keep living. Because, you know, they resting, but you got to keep going. You still here. So, you know, that is true what she was saying.
Socioeconomic status and environmental factors, we are 20% more likely to be diagnosed with a mental health disorder.
True.
Yeah, of that 20%, half will actually go get treatment.
We the highest, number one. Basically, she said we are number one.
Sorry, you guys, I keep stopping it, but she's right. Now, if you walk in our neighborhoods, you see a lot of people off their medication. And you see them standing up there talking to themselves, holding conversation with themselves. You see that a lot.
On daily basis.
On daily basis, man, you see that. So, you know, what she's saying is true. All you got to do is pay attention and walk around in your neighborhoods, or you're riding down the streets, you'll see it. It's just like, it's so bad in our neighborhoods, you know, like a lot of calls that the police get are for mental health. You know, it's not always like crime. it's mental health, and the police don't know how to deal with that.
They don't know how to deal with that because they really haven't been fully trained in that area. And then 9 times out of 10, a lot of them are going through mental health issues too. A lot of the calls and deaths they done seen and their lives been put on the line. It's a lot that they deal with too. And, you know, it's a lot of people that we lost within the last couple of years due to mental illness, and the police didn't know how to deal with it.
It's still going to be a lot of people. And y'all know me, each video, as I say, I'm going to keep it real. Excuse me. It's going to be a lot of people that still be in denial, that will watch a little bit of this video and turn it off, or might even see the title and skip over it. You know,
right?
Because they're still in denial. They don't understand that we're sick people. You know, all you got to do is look in our neighborhoods.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's there. You know, you see people off their meds and things of that nature.
Or they may not have gotten meds.
Yeah, they're homeless and they're, you know what I'm saying? It's you see it. I know I see it. You guys, I moved. I didn't see it when that much when I was staying in Ohio, but I moved to Charlotte. It's bigger. It's a bigger city. Charlotte is a bigger city, and I see it everywhere.
Yep. People is walking. I done seen it in the malls. I done seen it in the grocery stores and parking lots. I done seen it at restaurants, walking out of restaurants. Walking in the neighborhood little store, the corner store. I done seen it all over. Just being out and about, taking care of business or running errands. I seen people just sitting there walking and just talking to themselves, or just sitting there talking to themselves. They don't have no earbuds. They don't have no phone or nothing, and they just sitting there having a full-blown conversations with themselves. I done been at the stoplights. And people just sitting there, just walking, talking to themselves. Ain't nothing in their hand. You don't see nothing.
What we're stating and what she's stating is real, you guys. It's very real, and awareness needs to be brought. That's basically what we're doing, because it happened to be on her mind this morning. So what we're doing is, guys, we're bringing awareness to everyone, because with this video, you guys, I want you guys to share this video out with everybody, because after this video is over, I'm going to share this video all over. So, you know, but it's real, guys. Mental health.
Very real.
That half that never got treatment is the ones who continues that going from generation to generation. That's why we have to look at this as an important issue. The stigma around it. Oftentimes people are afraid to be called crazy. They're afraid that they're going to be called weak. They're afraid, everyone tells me I should be able to do this on my own. Well, let me bust that myth. If you could do it on your own, you would have done it already.
Do it on my own.
And the other part of that is, the reality is, there's these 4 things called general causes that you didn't sometimes do anything. Why? Because we know that mental health sometimes comes from biology. Biology, that means it's genetic. There's possibly it just was passed from one generation to the next. It doesn't mean that person got it diagnosed. It still means, though, it's genetically there. Sometimes it's just chemical. Sometimes medications can cause it, different sicknesses can cause it, hormones can cause it. There are situations.
That's true.
You didn't catch that. She said what you said earlier about the medication can cause it. You taking medications, it can cause it. I caught that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said a certain type of medication that you can cause it, because like how you went to the dentist to go get your tooth pulled, you know, if you read the medicine, if you take some of us really don't take out the time to read the prescription label. We so used to been taking it for so years.
What is that?
It's hydrocodone.
I got a letter because it says it has opioids in it.
Right.
You know, that the dentist gave me. But I didn't take that. I took the ibuprofen, which is kind of strong, 800 milligrams.
Right.
But he also gave me the hydrocodone, but I didn't take that.
Right. So right after my husband went to the dentist for his tooth removal, he received a letter from the prescription some kind of prescription drug company or something with the pharmaceuticals, and they were saying about the opioids that's found in hydrocodone, and I was like, that's weird because we never received a letter just like that. And I guess because right now, and over the years, opioids is like right. It's getting out of hand. A lot of people are getting addicted to it, and opioids they can't come off of it. So, and that I immediately thought of that because there was something that we saw on Netflix or something. We saw some kind of documentary about people that was addicted to opioids. So, yeah, that was crazy. It was weird receiving a letter like that, like a couple of days right after he went to the dentist.
Death, divorce, a really bad situation at work, yes, it can actually trigger a mental health disorder. Or sometimes it's environmental. Back to ding, 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 environmental. Sometimes growing up in extreme poverty conditions, violent conditions, abusive conditions. There are situations that, yes, can trigger a mental health disorder. So you didn't do anything to cause this issue, but nonetheless, the issue needs to be addressed.
What she just said, like I stated, mental health, it can go all different type of directions.
Right.
It ain't just necessary, oh, you bugged out, you great. It could be, like she said, it could be from an accident. It could be from something that happened to you when you were young. It could be from
the loss
anything.
of a loved one.
Yeah.
It could be due to the medication that you was taking.
Mm-hmm.
It could be due to something, traumatic that happened, a traumatic event. It could be the environmental. It could be bullying. It could be all sorts of things that could, cause you to have, a breakdown or depression. So it's not just one particular area. It's very, very broad.
And so we have to do a better job of recognizing that mental health stigma is keeping us bound. It is keeping us suffering in silence, and we have to do a better job about it. And with that, I want to say we all have a responsibility to be mindful of the things we say. Help people not feel crazy. Help people not feel weak. So that means I should never ever hear someone call someone crazy again. I should never hear someone say, ooh, that weather is so bipolar. That's pretty insensitive to a person who may actually have bipolar. So we have to be mindful that the stigma is one of the main things that keep us from saying anything. And so my charge to you today is to take a minute and first think about what are you doing? What are you saying that one could be judging someone and stopping someone from seeking help? And I ask you to create an environment that makes it safe for others to speak about their emotions and their mental health status.
Because it's going to go over people's heads.
And then the next thing, I really take a moment and ask yourself, how am I doing? So if you've had any moments where you notice I'm crying more than I should.
That's what I said.
I'm waking up sad for no
crying.
reason. My heart is racing all the time.
She said you'll notice that you'll just start crying a lot. And I experienced that. Just one day woke up and just started crying. Just kept crying and crying. It wasn't no reason. It was just like crying.
I'm just saying you just start
crying, and you wondering why you crying. You wondering why you feeling funny, and you feeling like you can't get up, and you feeling like you don't feel good. So as I went through my day, and I realized exactly what I was experiencing, so I just had to talk it out. And I felt better when I got the help that I needed. I started talking to.
You had to talk it out. Talk it out.
Talk it out.
I have my mind and it can't shut off. I'm going to ask you to do yourself a favor and allow yourself to admit it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
Because there are people out there like me who our sole responsibility is to be there for you. Our sole job is to give you our undivided time and attention to help you heal and to help you grow. So I truly ask you to take a minute and check in with yourself and make sure that you're okay. And if you're not, it's okay. And even if you are, still find a therapist. Thank you.
All right, you guys. So that is the end of that video. When I came across that video, I was like, yes, this is something that I would definitely love to speak on, because like I stated earlier, it's not known in the black community for you to go and speak with a therapist, to go speak with anybody. Sometimes you couldn't even go speak to your own family members. You couldn't go speak to your mom, your dad. You know, you couldn't talk to your parents about the things that you could be going through, because either half the time they was working or they was not there, or they had their own issues going on.
You just put on your as they say, used to say back then, put on your big girl panties, or put draws on your big boy drawers, and but as the generation kept generating, what I'm saying, it's like they couldn't handle it. But like when we were coming up, you just people just just shunned it off. It was nothing.
Right.
I don't need no help, or I'm strong, I don't need to talk to anybody, and they just leave it alone. Just don't speak up or speak out or get the help that they need until they later on in their life, until they their mental health start deteriorating.
Right.
So
it has.
And I've
gotten
seen that
bad.
a lot. I've seen that a lot. People that you knew, that you used to like come up with, and that you used to talk to and kick it with, and you sit there and you just like, dang, but I didn't see anything wrong with him when I used to kick it with him. And now and again, there wasn't nothing wrong with him. Like,
Right.
what happened, and what they were doing was suffering in silence, like she said.
Right. They really was suffering in silence. And, we've been told, oh, no, you don't need to go see nobody. That's what you was told. Some people went to go talk to their pastors. And, it may have helped with some people. Sometimes, some people, it didn't help. It made it worse. So, this is something that I really wanted to sit down and wanted to talk about and go over it, because, us as a black family in our black community, we do have to help each other. Because I know a lot of people that have suffered during this lockdown. You can't tell me that we had some form of depression. We had some form of, anxiety, not knowing what's going on. Like, are we going to get through this? When there was a shortage of food and shortage of toilet paper and water. And just recently here in North Carolina, we had like a shortage of gas. And people was out there like literally losing their mind.
I told my wife, because she was like, well, we got to go get some gas. Because sure, you know what I told her? Guys, I said, trust me, we're not going to run out of gas. If you know how the United States is, they'll go take some gas from just put it this way. They'll go get the gas than being without the gas. We're not going to run out of gas. That's why I said, we're not going to be like these other people running. And I said, trust and believe, they're not going to let us run out of gas, because gas is much needed. That would pretty much cripple the economy if we didn't have any gas, because you got to think about what gas is used for. All the things gas is used for, it'll be a lot of stuff that'll be shut down. So
that is true, but there was pumps and stuff like that. Even though gas may have been in the ground, there have been a lot of gas stations to where the bags was covered.
But like I had a trucker on my Facebook, and he specifically said people out here bugged out. Specifically.
It's not
listen.
Specifically.
It's but he said people out here bugged out though. He said people are making it harder for them, because they'll go and they'll deliver the gas, and people are lined up with gas cans filling it up. And then now,
not only gas cans,
they're doing this back and forth. They're running and it's stressful, and they telling people need to calm down. You're not gonna run out of gas.
No, I have seen pictures and videos where people had gas cans, they had barrels, they had bags, grocery bags, plastic bags, you name it, they filled it up. I seen people where it had pots. I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? Like that stuff.
See,
like
that's why I told my wife, I said, we is not finna engage in that foolishness. I said, we'll go find some gas somewhere. We'll fill our tank up. And that's that. But we ain't finna be all bugged out, people fighting and stuff over gas. I said, no, we're not finna do that. We're not finna do that.
It was crazy down here in North Carolina. When we went to the gas station, we waited at least, a good 45 minutes? Mm-hmm. We waited at least a good 45 minutes before we was able to
And we sitting watching people losing their minds, bugged out.
Like really bugged out, about to tear their cars up just to fill it up with gas. And I'm like, y'all crazy. Like, why is y'all putting the gas in containers and objects that gas don't supposed to get in there?
That's a form of mental.
I was thinking about Fire Marshal Bill. Like, seriously thinking about
Let me show you something.
Fire Marshal Bill, if somebody was to go and just set that thing or light that thing on fire. Like, who does that to put gas in a pot? In plastic bags. Like.
Only in America.
Only in America.
That's
crazy.
But you guys, I want to sit here. I hope you guys like the new name of Kicking It with Knowledge. I came up with that name. I thought it would fit best because we're always sitting up kicking it with knowledge. If you guys get it. Kicking it with knowledge. So
it's basically like if you have a spouse or someone that you know and y'all just sitting there having some deep conversations.
Kicking it with knowledge.
Right.
You know, so I thought that would fit this segment because we're always kicking it with knowledge, you know. So, but we're going to start coming, and we're going to be coming with some deep stuff, you guys. So we need you guys to tune in. We need you guys to come on in. We need you guys to like, share, subscribe. And we need you guys to participate in a lot of these topics because, you know, a lot of these topics, we're going to be talking about us. It's going to be within the family, if you get my drift.
Right. They get your drift. I see it. I see the drifting. But,
if you get my drift, families.
Right. Fast and Furious.
Families.
Drift. Okay.
Families.
What's that black thing on your arm?
I don't know. Nothing.
Is that from the screen?
Yeah. No, that's from the
I thought you had a long tattoo. I'm about to say.
That's what it looked like.
I'm about to say. Lord, I'm about to say he done got burnt by the light.
No, I don't got no tattoos.
It look like 3rd-degree burns. But anyway,
I'm 40-some years old, guys. I ain't got no tattoos.
Me neither. I don't want tattoos because, you know, I can't stand needles anyway. You know, we didn't want to get off topic. But I just want to say thank you guys for those that have tuned in on this live. We really appreciate you guys. If you like this video, make sure you leave a comment or two. And if you would like to see more videos like this, make sure you leave a comment and let us know. If you have any ideas of videos that you would like for us to react to it, leave a comment and let us know. You can message us. My social media, all of my social media platforms is in the description box. You can hit me up and like, hey, you know, I would love for you to react to this. Can you react to this? So just let us know and participate. If you, like I stated earlier, if you would like to join in our live, let us know. I can send you the link so you can join on in as well. So support the stream as well.
Also, guys, we're going to have a special guest on here, Mia's sister, Jacqueline, and we're going to be doing part 2 of the Tulsa, Oklahoma. She stays in Oklahoma, and she has a lot of knowledge of what's going on down there right now, the things that you guys don't know. So you guys stay tuned because we'll be coming with that video. It'll be the 3 of us, and we're going to talk. So we need everybody to come in when that live happens. We need you guys to come on in and join the live and join in the conversation, guys. And also, when you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button so you'll be notified, guys, when we go live. And
make sure that notification button is selected to all so you can receive all of the notification lives or just regular videos or just me just stopping in saying hey and then just dropping back off. Just all the notifications. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Share as well. All right, so we're going to end this live, you guys.